News Update is brought to you by...
Say hello to Chelsea. Chelsea is a champion surfer, so she's accustomed to moving super fast, which is why she relies on super fast broadband brought to her through Flow's 100% fiber to the home network. It keeps her family sharing and surfing and saving each month. Combined, she bundles her Flow mobile, home phone, and TV services, so she can enjoy much more for much less, and so can you. Visit any Flow retail outlet, call 1-800-804-2994, or visit discoverflow.co to find out more. One-of-a-kind connection. This is how we flow.
This is Barbados Today Evening News for Wednesday, March 9. Thank you for joining us. I am Marie-Claire Williams. Our top story, the High Court will hand down its decision later this month in the case involving the compulsory retirement of workers at the Barbados Investment and Development Corporation who had reached age 60. Madam Justice Jacqueline Cornelius says she will give an oral ruling by the end of this month. The workers are asking to be reinstated and to be paid damages for the loss of earnings. Lawyer for the BIDC, Michael Yearwood, told the court there are no grounds for seeking damages and it was the company's discretion whether to send home the workers. The employees are represented by attorney Gregory Nichols. The court was adjourned after more than 4 hours of deliberations. Barbados and the rest of the Caribbean are being assured that the region is in a much better position to deal with the collapse of a major regional financial institution similar to CLICO 7 years ago. That's the word from resident advisor responsible for financial stability at the Caribbean Regional Technical Assistance Center, Shelton Nichols. Nichols told reporters today that the CARTAC and its regional members have drawn up a draft financial sector crisis management plan for the region.
Looking at developing financial stability and health indicators, particularly for the non-bank sector, for the insurance sector, for credit unions, pensions and securities markets. We have a dearth of information in this area and we want to try to build and improve this set of information. We're also looking at improving information on financial sector interconnectedness. And of course, CARTAC is working along with the regulators on a project with the IMF in support of building analysis in this area. Our third stream looks at actually the development of crisis management and contingency plans, and this conference is a major focus on this specific area. We're also dealing with areas relating to stress testing of the financial system, and of course establishing macroprudential indicators for the Caribbean region.
He added their aim is to help reform, modernize and enhance the Caribbean's financial stability.
I certainly think we would be in a better position than we've been before. I mean, in previous episodes, we were not, many of these infrastructures were not in place, right? We didn't have a lot of the data. We certainly didn't have a crisis resolution plan or framework that could focus our minds. It's not to say that this is going to help us prevent a crisis, but certainly I think it would help us to be much better prepared should any other untoward disruption take place in the financial sector. And of course, it's going to be a continuous work in progress. It's not going to be a solution for all crises. It's a continuous work in progress. But I think we would be in a much better position than we were previously.
One of the Caribbean's leading seismologists is reporting that the frequency of earthquakes in Barbados has tapered off. Last year, the Seismic Research Center of the UWI's St. Augustine campus recorded 375 earthquakes on the island. But Dr. Joan Latchman says the Barbados zone is now at the end of the seismic sequence. But she is warning that there is no reason to become complacent.
Based on the research that we are doing with this sequence, and there is a lot of research to be done here because we are trying to understand what is happening. The depth of the earthquakes that we have found is a little bit of a puzzle, so we have to look into that. As far as the magnitude output is concerned, there is a pattern that we have found based on sequences that have occurred over time. And we expect certain magnitudes associated with a main shock of magnitude 6.6 and associated with the activity we see in the Barbados zone in general. And based on that research, it appears that we have a deficit of earthquakes of magnitude greater than 4.5.
Dr. Latchman was speaking earlier this afternoon at a lecture on earthquakes and tsunamis in the Caribbean. A Christchurch man is nursing injuries after being shot last night Police say an unknown assailant shot 39-year-old Gary Zephyrin of Carter's Gap around 8:15 in his community. Zephyrin was taken to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital by ambulance. In other police news, the lawmen are investigating a suspected drowning which occurred earlier this morning. The body of Mervyn Bovell, aged 34, of Yearwood Road, Mount Standfast, St. James, was recovered from the sea just off Glitter Bay. Bovell's wife identified his body. The Caribbean Women's Association is raising concern about the high rate of violence against women across the region. President Marilyn Rice Bowen wants Barbados to show some solidarity with her neighbors in addressing the problem.
It was in January alone, we recorded 10 murders in Guyana. And it was only last night, I think, there was a slashing of a woman in Trinidad. I mean, the region has gone mad. I seek absolutely no comfort when I hear people say, well, Barbados is not as bad. If our brothers and sisters are in trouble in the region, we as a people, we are also in trouble. As the president of the Caribbean Women's Association, and I'm speaking to Barbados, you need to get more involved. You need to raise your voices more. Yes, we are hearing the voices of now, but we need to raise our voices more and become a little more militant like our sisters in the region.
In sports, Tia Applewhite has won the fastest heat in the girls under 19 meters dash in the knapsack semis at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex. She won in 23.54 seconds.
The race was fine.
Tommy, you have advanced to the final. What do you expect going into the final?
I expect going into the finals, the 80 meter, the 100 and 150.
Applewhite will compete next Wednesday in the 80 meters and 100 meters. And Shaz Searles has won his heat in the 100 and 200 meters, and he also anchored St. Stephen's 4x100 meters to qualify for the 3 events in the final. He clocked 26.84 in the 200 meters to set the fastest mark at today's events.
It was good. At first I thought I had a challenge from Yazid Daniel, but we beat him today.
You also won your heat in the 100 meters. Oh, was that one?
Well, I didn't have that much a good start, but I ended came out at first.
So going into the final, how do you feel? Are you confident?
Yes, I am very confident.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter, that's the move for me. Stability, prosperity, we're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
Lord, these papers ain't selling at all. Get your paper. Only $2.25, get your paper, miss. Look, take it, I can pay for it. Barbados Today, all the way.
Barbados Today. News you can trust.
In news from the region, the Guyana government has set up a ministerial task force to develop an action plan to help communities affected by the ongoing drought. The task force will be headed by the Ministry of Agriculture. President David Granger says members will focus on medium and long-term plans, including drilling additional wells and increasing water harvests when the rainy season begins. Guyana is among a number of Caribbean countries struggling with drought conditions. Several of them have implemented measures to prevent the waste of the commodity. And finally, U.S. troops joined their Somali counterparts in a raid on the Islamist Al-Shabaab group earlier today. Al-Shabaab claimed it had fought off an attack by foreign forces, but U.S. officials say several militants were killed in the raid. Several countries have been supporting Somali officials in their efforts to combat Al-Shabaab's insurgency. Today's assault came after the U.S. said it conducted airstrikes on Saturday on an Al-Shabaab training camp. And that's the evening news. Remember, there's more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also tune in to Channel 99 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM for more news and sports. I am Marie Claire Williams. Good evening.